Welcome to your lesson for Friday, June 8th. Again, I apologize. My voice is fading. It's getting worse as the day goes on, so you have to put up with my voice cracking and possibly a few coughs. Again, I apologize. So your lesson is on multiplying and dividing rationals. Builds off of what we did for simplifying. Learning goal, simplify rationals, being multiplied and divided, and just like yesterday, state the restrictions. Multiplying and dividing, I'm going to save my voice, let you read that. Basically, it's just a reminder of how do you multiply and divide fractions. To give you a quick example, using just numbers, 1/2 times 3/4, top times top, bottom times bottom, numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 4 is 8. You're left with 3/8. And that was for multiplying. Dividing. So if we take 3/4 and we divide by 1/2, invert or flip the second fraction, change divide to multiply. So flip the second fraction, change divide to multiply. Now do top times top, bottom times bottom. 6/4. Reduce it if you can. 3/2. Our first example, simplify, state the restrictions. Again, just like yesterday. There's no factoring that can be done with A. So just do top times top, bottom times bottom. 4 times 12, 48. X squared, y over 4. And then 3 times 8 on the bottom, 24. In the same order as the top, so x to the 5, y cubed. And then from there, simplify if you can. So 24 goes into 48 twice, or if you think about it, 48 divided by 24 is 2. 2x squared, cancel out the 5 in the bottom, it leaves you with 3. So on the bottom, we have an x cubed. And this y cubed gets rid of all but one of the y's on top. So we're left with a y on top. Then state restrictions. Go up to the step where you canceled. As a general rule of thumb, x cannot be 0 and y cannot be 0. B is a little bit different. We don't want to multiply top and bottom and bottom, because then we're going to end up with like having to FOIL a trinomial by a binomial, end up with x cubes, and that's not going to really help us. So we know from yesterday we want to factor to be able to cancel things out. So let's factor the top, x plus 3, x plus 1, on the bottom, x minus 4, x plus 2, times 4 or x minus 1. If that x confuses you in the middle and makes you think it's another x, just in case, and change that to just a dot to multiply. Anything the same on top and bottom, we can cancel, and it can be within the same fraction or it can be with other fractions. So as long as it's a top with a bottom anywhere, you can cancel it out. So that x minus 4 matches up with that one in the other fraction. That's okay. Top and bottom still the same. Cancel it out. That leaves us with x plus 3, x plus 1, all over x plus 2, and x minus 1. And we don't want to have any kitten killers, so we're not going to cancel out any x's or any 1's. Go back up to the step where you started canceling stuff out when you do your restrictions. So x cannot equal 4, cannot equal -2, cannot equal 1. And our next two, now we're dealing with dividing. So, cannot start by canceling. Rewrite the first fraction. Change the multiply to divide. Sorry, divide to multiply. And flip the second fraction. So 5c cubed over 6a squared b. Now do top times top. 10ab c cubed over, and again, I'm going to put it in the same order, 6a squared bc. Now you can cancel. If you were to reduce 10 over 6, 2 goes into that 5 times, into that 3, so we know we have 5 over 3. That a gets rid of that, just leaves us with 1 on the bottom. That b gets rid of that b, so that leaves us with no b's. And that c gets rid of that cubed, and leaves us with 2. So over c squared. When you go to do your restrictions, when you divide, there's a little bit of a trick to it. So we're still going to use the step where we started canceling stuff out. So we'll go up here. A cannot equal. So we'll go up to this step. So A can't equal 0. B can't equal 0. C can't equal 0. But don't forget, when you do restrictions, it can't be 0 at any point. So you got to look back all the way to this step too, because that was before it was flipped. So anything that was on the bottom, check it, and anything that was on the bottom in the original question, you got to check it, because remember that 5c cubed, when we flipped it, ended up on top, but it was on the bottom to start. Now in this case we're okay because it's just all A, B's, and C's, so we worked out to be okay. Might not, or we might have to do a bit more when we do part D. So let's start factoring, or at least factor on the left. So this works out to be x plus 5, x minus 4. On the bottom there, all you can do is common factor, x minus 2. And we're going to change that to multiply. I'm going to change it to a dot so it doesn't look like an x. And then we're going to flip our fraction. And rewrite the left side. That's going to factor to x minus 2, x minus 2, and x minus 5, and x plus 1. Now you're ready for canceling stuff out. Anything that's the same on top and bottom can be canceled. So x minus 2, x minus 2. And that's all that can be canceled. That's all that's the same between the top and the bottom. So that leaves us with x plus 5, x minus 4, x minus 2, x minus 5, and x plus 1. And it's worth noting as well here that even if you forgot or you missed something in the step above that was the same, you're welcome to cancel it out of the next step if you see it. So if we were like, oh my god, there's an x plus 5 and x plus 5 on the bottom, I forgot it, that's okay, just cross it out right now. Restrictions. So go back up to the step where you started canceling stuff out. So we're going to go back up here for our restrictions. So x can equal 0, 2, 5, negative 1. Now don't forget, this second fraction, we flipped it. So for this second fraction, you got to look at both the top and the bottom, the numerator and the denominator, because in the original question, what is now the numerator would have actually been the denominator. In this case, it was x minus 2, x minus 2. We've already listed the 2 already once here. So, I mean, you could list it again, but it's not going to change the question, or not going to change the answer, I should say. So hopefully there's no questions. Like I said, at the end of the day, as long as you are good at factoring, you should be good at this stuff. That's it for your lesson, and I'll see you guys all on Monday.